change schedule, so it's coming in about 2 hours time.
Wow, great. That is good.
Yeah. We shouldn't come in at all.
Some of us have to eat, you know.
Well, they can't eat cars. It's cars that's coming in.
Oh, okay, that was food.
I like that lunch though.
Okay.
Shalon, you're making my dog start to thing, you know.
They're like babies, you know.
I'll
And
try
wants
to,
that.
I will try to mute the mic. Gosh, behave all you.
Okay, so we on YouTube, try not to say any more wrong things, and I'm off camera. Let me send you the link now, okay?
Okay. Hello, hello, hello. We have 25 persons.
Okay, I'm starting with your video. So everybody gonna fall in place now, okay?
Okay.
All right.
My father is a diehard New Yorker.
Starting with your video.
He's very well known in
So
Brooklyn.
everybody gonna fall in
Very
place
well
now, okay?
respected.
Okay.
There's not a person in Bed-Stuy that don't know Doug.
In my banking career, I had an opportunity to leave Brooklyn, Bedford Stuyvesant and go work in Manhattan on Park Avenue. But I wanted to stay in my community.
He saw the opportunity to make some changes and do some good. And he did.
How are you? How's business? While Doug was managing the bank, there was a significant increase of successes among the minority-owned businesses. I know
My father is a diehard New Yorker.
Doug was involved.
Very well known in Brooklyn. Very well respected.
There's not a person in Bed-Stuy that don't know Doug.
It's been a long time.
In my banking career, I had an opportunity to leave Brooklyn,
I
Bedford
want to buy the
Stuyvesant
building,
and go work in
not
Manhattan
just
on
be a
Park
renter.
Avenue.
We submitted
But
her
I wanted to
application.
stay in
She
my
was able to
community.
move into our own building.
Saw the opportunity
She's still there today.
to make some changes
Betty's Gospel
and
Day.
do some good. And he
I
did.
think it's really important for my dad for us to own
While Doug
something.
was managing
Nine
the bank,
children,
there
6
was a
girls and 3
significant
boys.
increase
And in the early
of
60s,
successes among the
parents
minority-owned businesses.
put together
I
enough
know
money
My
to purchase a
father
home.
is a diehard New
I wanted to keep
Yorker.
that
Doug
building
was
in our
involved.
family.
Very well known in Brooklyn. Very well respected.
There's not a person in the best side.
Because I know what my parents went through to get it. In my And I banking still own
career,
it
I
today.
had an opportunity to leave Brooklyn Bed and buy the building and go work in Manhattan. We submitted
But I
our
wanted to stay in my
application and move into our own building. She's still there today. Betty's Gospel Day.
Do some good.
I think it's really important right now for us to own something. Make sure that me and my sister also knew that in life we needed to be leaders.
I love you girls so much together.
My parents' relationship was the epitome of relationship goals, as we say now. They loved and respected each other.
Married 34 years. She was my best friend.
My mom was diagnosed with MS before I was born.
And I still spent the last 8 years of my life in a wheelchair.
I seen her work in Manhattan. Carry her from the car to our functions that we had.
At night, he would still like dress her for bed, and in the morning he'd wake up and get her ready for the day.
It's like, I'm loving you every minute of every day because I don't know when it will be your last. She passed. We knew Douglas was going to be all right because we knew Douglas did her right.
Service to others is the rent we pay for the space we occupy here on earth. I always believe that we have a purpose here in life other than just what we can do for ourselves. Spent the last 8 years of my life, and by serving as a lion, it gave me an opportunity to make a difference in my community and in the lives of others.
At night, he would still like
School board meetings and stuff like that. And he asked somebody at the club who would like to represent, who had their hand up, it was Doug.
He joined with me and he was there in distributing toys at the nature of a couple thousand kids, and to make sure that every child got at least one or two toys, and especially a book.
Other than just what we can do for ourselves.
Inspired me to become a lion. After he gave me the experiences of doing service that lions do. He was not only my sponsor, but also encouraged me to become the club president. He said, "Ben, I will be there to support you."
It was history after that.
I would not have met her if I had not been in line.
Because doing something with full heart and commitment, and to have the first African American president done is ideal person to lead an organization.
He has the ability to bring us together.
Diversity in our organization, it's a powerful thing. It only strengthens us as an association. And I get so emotional when I talk about this. Because it's very special to me. Are we living who we say we are? Are we truly, really doing that? If I had not been in line. And I pledge to you, the Lions of the world, that I will serve you from my heart to the best of my ability.
Ideal person to lead an organization.
He has the ability to bring us together.
Diversity in our organization, it's a powerful thing. It only strengthens us as an association. And I get so emotional when I talk about this.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Lions Club of St. John's Health and Wellness Session. Welcome, 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 everybody. Special welcome to our facilitator, Miss Natalie Simon. Welcome, Natalie. Welcome to the Lions Club of St. John and our session. We are really, really grateful to you for finding time off your schedule today, Sunday, when you can be resting to be with us. We thank you and welcome. We see Father Hugh Logan with us. Hello, Father Hugh. Welcome, welcome. We're really grateful to have you with us this afternoon. We hope by the time we're finished here, you'll become a lion just like us. Who else do we have? We have Lion Gloria. Welcome, Lion Gloria. We're not seeing some names here. Lion Listra, we welcome you.
Lion Daily.
Mr. Wave, Mr. Frank Augustine. How you doing, sir? Welcome. We have our region chair with us. Welcome, welcome, Lion Wendy behind the scenes. We welcome you again, Lion Wendy, and we're really grateful for the assistance that you're affording us this afternoon. Lion Ronald, welcome. We have our computer tech personnel here, Mr. Siobhan Sutherland. We welcome you and we thank you, sir. We're really grateful for your assistance this afternoon. We see we have here Mr. Nigel Lindsay. Welcome, sir. We have all the Lions. We have Sister Youthlin George. Welcome, Sister Youthlin. We've seen a lot of persons here, Lions, and by the time we're through here, we're hoping that these persons will be Lions so that the Lions Club of St. John's and the Lions Club in Grenada, the rest of the Caribbean and the world will become larger. We welcome each one of you. Lion Sheldon. Welcome, Miss Anna Harry. How are you, ma'am? We trust that you're doing well today, Sunday. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Lion Charlton, welcome. Where is Lion Judy? We hope that she's in the background and she's hearing us. You are muted, so we can't hear what you're saying. We're seeing your mouth is moving. So we welcome all the Lions from all over the world.
Good afternoon.
We have a lot of Lions here.
Good afternoon and thank you. Yes, Lion Julie's in the background she's trying to join.
Okay, very well.
Thank you for acknowledging.
Right. And we, at this time, good afternoon. We want to encourage you to encourage your friends, your relatives, and everybody else to just link up, join us, the Lions Club of St. John, as we try to assist persons who might be undergoing some form of stress, some form of trauma, some form of doubt, anxiety, and despair, or just for those who may just want to get some more information as to how they can assist persons who might be going through some form of trauma or stress during these pandemic times. So we really want to welcome everybody, and trust me, I promise you that we have a very good facilitator, a well-learned facilitator, and by the time we're finished here, we'll be able to assist ourselves and our families and other persons in our communities and the wider world as on a whole. So we welcome you to our wellness program this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Alma.
You're welcome.
Thank you. To all our persons on the wellness session this afternoon, thank you for joining. And as Lan Alma said, you can call your neighbors, send a link to persons out there, let them share. We have capacity for 100 persons on that call. And it will be an event this evening to help you to cope, help all of us to cope with the situation that we're in. And so we hope that you're having a good Sunday in spite of the lockdown and so on. It would be a very interactive session, so don't just prepare just to sit back and listen. We'll be asking you to engage in the session as well. So it will be very interactive and we would have a great time here on this call today. I know Lan Sheldon is supposed to be joining Lan Alma in doing the welcome, but you know, Lan Sheldon has a little dog that is creating a little bit of problem in the background and activating other dogs in around. So we understand the situation. So we have different persons, Lan Alma. You can put on your mic. We have different persons on the call. I see we have teachers. Gloria James is on. I see Carol Ellis. Persons who are non-Lions. I see Patricia Thomas.
Wow.
I'm seeing different persons on. We have 41 persons on so far. And we're happy that you're able to join us today for this session. So it would be a great time. I noticed Samantha had her hand up. Samantha, you want to ask a question?
Good afternoon, Lion. No, it was a mistake.
All right. So we're about to start our session, and I hope our Lion president is on. Lion Wendy, is she on now?
No, I'm not seeing her.
Okay, so we will start. Hopefully she will join us shortly. She was having a bit of problem. She messaged me indicating that she was having a bit of problem. We have Lions from Barbados, Lions Club Barbados is with us as well, and Mary Alma.
Welcome to our brothers and sisters from Barbados. Welcome to St. John's Lions Club. Welcome to Grenada. We are in lockdown. We hope that you're not in lockdown and you're up and about.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Warm welcome to our teachers, Miss Gloria James, Miss Carol Ellis, and all of the others. Welcome to our session this afternoon. We trust that it will be able to enlighten you and you'll be able to work with your students even better and with the parents better. Reverend Nigel Lindsay, welcome again. Welcome, sir. Good to have you. Good to have you in Grenada. Oh, you're the chaplain at McDonald's College. We welcome you. So we know that whatever you hear here, you'll be able to pass it on to the staff and students at McDonald's College. We welcome you, sir.
So once again, thank you very much, Lion Alma. Once again, welcome to everyone to this wellness session put on by the Lions Club of St. John's. The Lions Club of St. John's began in 2018, the 6th of October. We're almost 3 years, going on 3 to 4 years in operation. And we have presently 37 members. We are devoted to serving our communities of St. John and St. Mark. These two parishes, we try to help out in various forms, help improve the lives of our parishioners and help life to become much better. My name is David Hopkin. I'm the service chairperson for this Lionistic year for the Lions Club of St. John's, but I'm also the charter president of the club when we were chartered in 2018 by the Lions Club of St. George's. And we are working hard at serving our community. So I welcome you. And at this point, I will now invite Father Hugh Logan to lead us in the opening prayer. Father Hugh is the parish priest of Christ the King Grand Roy, a Catholic parish located in the parish of St. John, the geographic parish of St. John. So welcome, Father Hugh, and I now turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hopkin. So invite us now to pray. Heavenly Father, although we are meeting virtually, we know that you in our midst. This weekend here in Grenada, we do not have the benefits of face-to-face interaction. But with your grace, Lord, we are certain this online meeting would be a success. and that we can accomplish our which is to stay mentally healthy. So we thank you for allowing us to meet despite the dire situation here in our beloved country, Grenada. We know that this is not possible without your divine guidance and permission. This afternoon, we dedicate this meeting to you. We ask your special blessing upon our presenter, that, O Lord, that the Holy Spirit will guide her and use her to give us the knowledge and all that we need, of God, to remain mentally well. But, O Lord, that it will be not only a session that we will gain information for our own benefits, but, O Lord, that we will share what we learn here and experience here with others, so that your will, O Lord, will be fulfilled here on this earth, that your desire for each one of us is to grow physically, emotionally, mentally. May your presence this evening be felt. And, O Lord, may each one of us experience your loving presence here in what will be done. And we make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Father Hugh, for invoking God's presence among us, especially in this time. Thank you. And at this point, I'd like to invite our president, Lion Allison Knight, who is our president for this Lionistic year, to make some opening remarks. Lion Allison.
Land President, right. Good afternoon to everyone joining us for this session on mental wellness. I'm Addison Knight, president of the Lions Club of St. John. We live in a time compacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The issue of mental health is not only relevant, but crucial. Mental health is more than the presence or absence of mental illness. It is a crossroad between emotional, psychological, and physical well-being. This year, many people may have faced serious challenges to the mental health, along with the health impact of the disease COVID-19 has led us to self and social isolation, disconnection from family and friends, unemployment, quarantine, and lockdown, on movement resulting in more people than ever, more people than ever experiencing feelings of helplessness, isolation, grief, anxiety, and depression. We are all going through this pandemic, and in some way or the other are affected. We may not be directly affected, but we may have co-workers, friends, loved ones, or a neighbor who is battling this virus or have died. The Lions Club is about service to our community. Hence, the Lions Club of St. John see it fit to reach out to our communities during this time. As a club, we advise everyone, do your best to eat nourishing meal, especially fruits and vegetables, rich in vitamins, not forgetting lean proteins and whole grains. Those foods can keep your body healthy and mind in staying healthy during this stressful time. Cut down on food that can build up anxiety, such as sugar, caffeine, and alcohol. Keep active. Be it exercise or finding something that you may have interest in, learning a skill, engaging in a hobby, or simply planning a few activities as games, night with family, or loved ones. Maintain at least 6 feet distancing. Wash your hands and sanitize them frequently. Wear masks to help protect yourself and those around you. Stay safe, get tested, and make a choice to be vaccinated or not. As Lions, we care, And remember to always try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud, because we all need each other during this time. Thank you and be safe.
Thank you very much, Lan Allison, for your warm welcome. Wonderful message to us as we begin this session. I just want to welcome members of the Lions Club of St. George's, who is with us on the call this evening, among other Lions across the Caribbean, together with our locals here. And we're going to go into a very interesting presentation to us by a young man from St. John. His name is Chad Welsh. He's a past student of St. Rose Modern Secondary School and also presently a teacher there. So I now turn the floor over to Chad, who will give us a rendition.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so this rendition is entitled Million Dreams. I close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting up for me, that I call my home. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call us crazy. We can live in a world that we decide. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They could say it all sounds crazy. They could say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Thank you very much, Chad. Well done.
You're welcome, Mr.
I guess if we were in a hall, we would all be clapping and making some noise, right? Thank you very much, Chad. Very encouraging song. The dreams that we have, do not give up on them. We can achieve them in spite of the challenges that we have out there. I know you can put up your chats, your comments in the chat. We are live on YouTube. The link is available on your chat. We're going to share it with you. So you can share it with others and they can join us on YouTube, and you can also make your comments there as well. Thank you, Chad. Great job from Kiana Alexander. Patricia Thomas is saying that. Judy Lewis Joseph is saying, great job. Well done. Well done. And later on, we may have another piece by Chad, who is going to share with us another piece later on. And now we move into our session for today. We move into a session for today, and it will be done for us by someone who is part of us here in St. John from the Western side. Her name is Natalie Simon. She is the founder of Ending Stigma in Grenada, a mental health awareness trainer. Ending Stigma Grenada was created in 2018 to help reduce the stigma associated with mental health in Grenada by raising awareness, delivering workshops, and campaigning for change. Natalie has a caring nature and passion for giving back. She has overcome many barriers, limited beliefs, and overcome trauma. Natalie's mother had a diagnosis of schizophrenia. This diagnosis denied her access to a relative with a relationship with her mother. Natalie resided at various care homes. Natalie Simon is from Mongrambi, St. John's. Natalie attended St. Rose Modern Secondary in Guelph, which she really enjoyed. Natalie has experienced the mental health and wellness, many experience in the mental health and wellness field. She currently works in an educational establishment coaching learners in areas of mindset, confidence, and healthier lifestyle. Natalie has previously worked for a UK leading mental health charity named SANE. Natalie's main achievements and accomplishments so far include a master's degree and a postgraduate diploma. She studied mental health and addiction at the London Metropolitan University. Natalie's interests are swimming, hiking, and forest walking. Natalie shares her quirky facts about herself. She states she has walked on fire. Disclaimer, do not try this at home. So with great pleasure, I would like to present to you our guest for today, Natalie Simon. Hello, Natalie.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I wanted to say thank you so much for this opportunity to share this presentation on wellness and resiliency in mental health in a time of COVID. And I feel like Alison Knight has covered most of the things that I intended to talk about in my presentation, but never mind. I just wanted you to know that I am from Mongrambi and I went to St. Rose Modern Secondary School. And what I'm hoping today is that some of the tips that I share with you will give you some hope and you will have some sort of resiliency and coping mechanisms going forward during this pandemic that we're facing now in Grenada. Okay, so the overview, I'll just go over it a bit. So it's about understanding the current pandemic and what we're going through, and sort of understanding that your feelings, what you're going through, if you're experiencing fear, this may be normal. We're going to discuss resiliency and also mental wellness and what you can do to support yourself. And there's also additional links at the end that you can use to support yourself during this pandemic. Okay, so there's a bit of housekeeping. We want you to listen with an open mind and ensure that your microphone is muted when you're not speaking. And do save any questions that you have for the end of the presentation. And for those people that are viewing on Facebook, YouTube, we welcome them as well. And we hope that they'd write any comments or questions in the comment section. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go straight into the group sessions And we have some lions, Lion Gloria, Lion Listia, Lion Virginia, Lion Dupree, Lion Judy Pivot, and Lion Alicia will support us with this task. And what we'll be doing, we'll be discussing areas of what is resilience and describing an obstacle that you may have overcome in the past and things like that, and how, sorry about this, I'm just moving to the next slide. Okay, and how does the ability to be resilient affect your quality of lives? And how do people learn to develop resilience? So what is going to happen now? We have 6 facilitators which will support us with this activity right now. So what you can probably do is click on the link and it will take you to sort of like a breakout room. So now I invite the facilitators to assist with this task.
So Natalie, the technical operator will send persons off into the breakout session.
Brilliant.
At this point.
And this activity should last, I would say, between 10 and 15 minutes.
Yeah. So those of you viewing from YouTube or Facebook, our session is going into breakout, where persons are going to be discussing the topic of resiliency and share experiences where they have overcome some difficult situation. During that time, I would be speaking to someone for those persons viewing on YouTube and Facebook. Is Marla here?
Yes.
Right. Would you be able to show us your camera?
Oh gosh, not at the moment. Not feeling too well.
Okay. Now, for those who are listening on YouTube and on Facebook, I have with me Melissa Williams. She is presently diagnosed with COVID and is trying to cope with the symptoms, a young person, and we're going to hear from her what her experience is while the persons in the group session is going on. Hello, Marla.
Hi. Afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, afternoon. When did you get the news that you were diagnosed with COVID?
Well, actually, I had the feeling that I had it since Monday, Tuesday, but I actually got confirmed on Friday, this Friday gone.
Okay. Why do you think you had it before?
Based on the feelings I was getting, the symptoms after reading everything and hearing certain people who had it before,
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
All right. And what did you do when you realized that was the case?
I didn't go anywhere much. I called to see if I could actually get someone to come and do the test for me, but that was not done. So I had to actually leave home. I left home on Thursday. I couldn't get it done because they said they wasn't doing any tests in the clinic at the time. And then I went back on Friday morning and I had it done and it was positive. So basically I'm a week and some in when we calculate the amount of days since the symptoms started, because they stated to me that normally the symptoms start 2-3 days prior receiving, like contracting the virus.
Okay. And explain some of the symptoms you've been facing.
Well, it all started with that horrible headache. Oh my God. It's like no other headache I've ever had before. You could basically, and it's not your whole head, it's like in the front of your head, you're feeling the pressure in your eyes. So it hurts very bad. Headache, fever, you get cold chills, your body start to ache. I got all of them in one. So it wasn't like one, then the other. Everything was happening at the same time. And that happened to me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everything together. And the only thing
Are you better now? Are you better with the symptoms?
Yes, I'm a bit better now. The only problem is I have no smell. I've lost my smell, my sense of smell from yesterday. And my nose is a bit stuffy. So that, and then the headache will come in and between, but not as much as it was before. So that's the only thing. Other than that, I'm as normal as possible, but in a room by myself.
Okay. Are you vaccinated?
Not yet. I couldn't do the first I was about to do the vaccination, but I'm not able to do the first one because I suffer with poor circulation and stuff. So that's why I wanted to make sure everything was good with the Pfizer, but
okay. So you did not take the vaccine before because you thought because of your underlying health condition, you would prefer to get some advice on that. Was that the reason why you were not vaccinated?
Yes. Correct. So I was advised not to do the AstraZeneca because one of the side effects is clot blood, and I already have that going on. So.
Okay. All right. But what would you say to young persons like yourself out there who have maybe some reservations with regards to the vaccine?
Well, personally, to each his own, However, to me, I want to make sure that I'm safe, I'm protected, because I have a 3-year-old son that I have to take care of. And to me, the vaccine is okay. I have plans on taking the Pfizer as soon as I'm well, but I'm not going to force it on anyone. I would advise people to research into it, make sure they go check their doctor to make sure that everything is well with them firsthand before going and take it.
Okay. And so you're isolated at home and
Yes.
you're being taken care of. Let's talk a bit about how do you feel in terms of your emotions?
Well, in terms of my emotions, I'm a bit bored, but what makes me emotional right now is my son because he wants to come in the room with me because we always together. So every time I hear him calling out for me, that makes me emotional at the moment.
Okay.
But other than that, as I said, I'm good. I'm moving like normal, everything. It's just that my nose is stuffy, but emotional wise, I'm okay.
Okay, all right. So with regards to your relationship with your son, you think that that's one of the impact of the isolation, having contracted COVID, is having on you, not being able to have that relationship with your son, and maybe we can extend to our families. So do you think other persons like yourself may be experiencing things like that as well?
Yes, I do. Because I'm very close with my family, my immediate family, my grandmother, my father, my uncle, my son. We're all very close. We always have family game night and everything. So all that is at a pause. But then again, you want to make sure that they're safe. So that alone. Like right now, he's at the door calling for me.
Okay.
And
So
I can't do nothing about it.
So what can you do? Talk to him then. Talk to him about
I do.
why you're in that position and so on.
I do. It's a little bit hard for him to understand because he's 3. But my uncle is speaking to him at times.
Okay. Wow, this could be hard for him. Wow. And it hurts you as well. Yeah?
Yes, a lot. Yeah. I don't like it.
Okay. What other emotions keep coming up?
Well, it gets me, I'm a little bit angry at times because, you can't really move, you can't do anything much. You're basically set one place doing the same thing over and over. So, but as I said, anger, you can't even think about the anger issues. My main emotion is based on him, my son. Other than that, I could handle anything else.
Many persons are experiencing death in their families. It's hard for them. What do you say in a situation like that?
Well, actually, I do have a friend that died recently due to COVID. So I could understand how some families are feeling at the moment. It's very hard. It's basically unexpected because today you're happy with the person, laughing. You never know what you might be doing. And then tomorrow they're gone. It's gonna be very hard to basically take. And me having that COVID also makes me think about my father who is sick and my grandmother. She's 90. And
wow, okay.
I wouldn't like to know, because of me, they were able to contract it, because that might kill me alone.
Okay. And what about the contact tracing? Do you think you're able to help the health professionals in order to get others who've been in contact with you?
With me? Yes. I know where I go. And all where I went with the book thingy tracing down, I wrote down my name all the time. So I knew where I went, so I could have told them everything.
All right.
I keep tabs on all.
Okay. I have a few persons with me in that room while we speak. I see Sabrina, Rosalind, Jeanette, Charles. Would you like to ask Melissa any question? Any one of you, you can unmute your mic and ask her a question. Okay, Melissa, any other points you want to raise, encouragement to persons who are maybe experiencing
Well,
COVID,
I would just
for
like,
them to be prepared?
well, for those that don't have it as yet and, is around people and everything on their daily life, I would like to advise them that if you feel any sort of symptom, don't just sit down there and think, it's maybe just the come and go. Go get tested because you could never know what will happen. Other than that, just be safe. Use your hand sanitizer, wash your hands after everything. Wear your mask.
Okay, all right. And in terms of dealing with your loved ones, how would you put that in?
Well, you need to talk to them. Make sure you have a strong, what's the word? Make sure you have family that will be there to support you in your time of need, because you will need them. Like in my case right now, I can't do nothing. My family have to do everything for me. So be good to your family members who you live with, or even persons on the outside, your neighbors. So when the time of need comes along, you have them there. Be good to people.
All right, thank you very much, Melissa, for your sharing with us.
No problem.
And having to have the disease and coping quite well. And we hope and pray that you will just get better as we move forward. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for those viewing on Facebook and YouTube, we have just been speaking to Melissa Williams, who is presently dealing with the symptoms of COVID-19 and is in isolation. She is actually dealing with some of the issues related to COVID, both physically and mentally. And some of our group members, persons on the call, is in breakout session doing a group discussion on resiliency. What is resiliency and so forth. In the meantime, we're going to look at a short video on coping with mental health during COVID. Thank you very much. We are back in the main hall. So I now turn you over to Natalie, but I think we will start with the different persons sharing what came out of the groups in the various breakout sessions. Go ahead, Natalie.
Okay, so from our group, we were talking more about resilience after Hurricane Ivan in 2004. And we noticed that we had to be very resilient during that time, and we had to come together to support one another. But what we noticed that is different from this time is that we don't really have that face-to-face interaction. Things are a bit social distance, but we can still support one another and be resilient and be self-aware, have positive emotions. And it's about adapting and coping to with the change, everyday changes. It's about adaptation, I think.
Okay. Do we have another group to share?
Hi, this is Lion Deborah from Group 2 with Lion Alma. Y'all hear me?
We are hearing you. Go ahead, Lion Deborah.
Yeah. So we had some good discussions in the group. First of all, we discussed what is resilience, and one person was actually able to define resilience as being able to withstand and recover quickly from a situation. We had one person give a very touching how to overcome our challenge or obstacle. That person is actually a healthcare worker, and they were faced with a challenge with shortage of staff, and they had to strategize and to come up with means of how to care for their patients, regardless of the fact that they didn't have enough staff to work with. And what they found was the ability for them to work in teams contributed to them being able to work effectively as staff, right? So that was one of the ways that was able to overcome challenge. Another person gave an incident of, well, not really incident, that they were working in a private school, and it was very challenging in that they had to work for months without getting paid. And they had to come together to raise funds, and still raising the funds didn't contribute to them getting paid. But it was their resilience that they were able to cope. And they finally had to leave the job. And we also discussed the ability, how does the ability to be resilient affect the quality of your life? And one person thought, well, being resilient is it's a learning situation, and you have to, how to develop the resilience. One person think that we have to pray about it. That was basically the discussions.
Thank you very much, Lion Deborah, for your contribution.
Lion David?
Go ahead, Lion Alma.
Okay, yes, just to add to what Lion Deborah would have said, I would like to call on Ms. Edlin.
Okay.
Ms.
Edlin?
Good afternoon. Well, we talked about the resilience, and I was saying that because of the experience that you would have had, and I think as women, we are born somehow with a little bit of it inside of us, because we are much better able coping with situations than men. And but when you being resilient would have been something that you learn or you gain from an experience that you would have had, and you had to find ways to be able to cope with it. So if something like that similar happen again, you're able to deal with it much better, and you're also able to share your experience with someone to be able to help them to cope in a similar situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edlin, for that explanation. Can we have another group to share?
Good afternoon. I will share on behalf of Group 4. So during our discussion, we looked at the definition of resilience, and we came up with the definition that resilience is the ability to function or carry on in the midst of a challenge. During our discussion, we had members share about an experience, and 2 members spoke about a death in their family that they had, and they were able to overcome because of the strong support system that they had and the interactions and open discussions that they were able to have with people. How do we develop resilience? We looked at things like developing a positive attitude, being open to learn, seeking help, and just engaging in forums like these where you can discuss situations and challenges. Another member shared that in this COVID times, one of the challenge based on the nature of her job was just the whole fear and anxiety of having the fear and the anxiety of having to interact with other people because of the nature of their job. And so one of the things that we discussed in terms of how we can cope with that is just to continue to follow the established protocols, to remain optimistic, do some self-reflection, and we need to look at some lifestyle changes that we can make. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Mr. Hopkins, sorry to
Yes.
disturb. Gloria Bonaparte, I think she was taking notes from our group, and she might want to share as well. I think she was taking some notes from our group.
Yes, I joined the main group late because probably I was supposed to click on something. It says to leave the breakout. So by the time I came back in, this session had already started. All right, so I took some notes while sharing, which was kind of difficult. I hope I got everything. The definition for resilience, persons felt that it's having that ammunition. I like that word, ammunition, something that is stored up there and you pull it out just when you need it. You may not know that you have that, but when the stressful situations come upon you, you find that there is something in you that you can use, something that drives you. You're able to spring back. You're able to get back to that place where you once were. They use words like bounce back from situations, recover quickly from situations. And I think that's what make us resilient people. That's a loose term that's used, but it's really persons being able to bounce back or catch themselves back after having gone through something very stressful. Now, 2 persons mentioned 2 different situations that they had and how they were able to overcome it. One person had to, while studying in a foreign country during the pandemic, amid strange persons, just getting into a situation where you're just starting to make friends, just starting to get into online instruction. And it was really, really challenging in a strange country, thousands of miles away from where you live, where you belong. It was really challenging, but as a resilient young man from Grenada, he was able to successfully complete his studies and is now back with us. So I want to commend Lion Ronald on that. He was a resilient young man over there in midst of the pandemic. One person also mentioned that as an adult, having to face a sexual abuser after many years, had to confront that person, because sometimes you hear, why didn't the person say before? Why didn't they say? Why didn't they tell somebody? All of that we could say on the side when we are not in the situation. But someone who is in a situation like that and having to meet the abuser years later and confront them face to face and say exactly how you feel about what was done to you, it was a challenging situation, but that person was able to do it successfully. Well, how does the ability to be resilient affect the quality of our lives? It was mentioned that we have this innate ability to be resilient, but there comes a time when that natural instinct needs some help. Either you need somebody to speak to, you listen to good counsel, as someone mentioned, you ask God for the strength that you need to really bounce back, because there's a thin line between being able to cope and, well, the positive and the negative, because sometimes if you do not have a kind of support, or you do not have what it takes, you don't have no hope at all, then you find that that person goes over on the negative side. And of course, it leads to self-destruction. So you want to survive this situation. You want to be resilient. You want to be able to bounce back successfully. So it was mentioned that we need to develop our resilience by listening to good counsel, and whatever or whoever would have helped to nurture us or to take us from childhood into adulthood, probably these persons can be available to assist us in the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lion Gloria. Any other group?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I can speak for, I think it was breakout group 1. So we looked at the definition of resilience, and we had to put it into our local terms quite a bit. As one person said, it's not how many times you get knocked down, but it's how many times you get back up. And so the resilience we said had to do with being able to adapt and to adjust, you know, even if you encounter difficulties, you will be able to go on. So basically our local term for us was being able to bounce back. Right? When we looked at an experience, it's one that maybe most of us can relate to. It was the experience of Ivan. You know, some people would have lost almost everything or lost everything. And today we are around to tell the story because we have been able to go through that experience and come out on the other side. We had a very good experience shared with us by Mr. Henry, having fell down a flight of stairs. He was placed in a situation where he had to have surgery because of the damage that was done to his back, and he had no money, but he was able to take action, and that led us to discussing, you know, how resilience really impacts the quality of life that you had. And as he said, based on the choices that he would have made, he was able to return to the classroom to teach. And even when that became difficult, and he was offered a chance to retire, take early retirement, and he didn't take that, and he continued. You know, he was able to share with us that his life is probably better because he continued working. He was able to have 2 sons after that, and so life became a lot better for him. And so in terms of how do we develop resilience, participants said, you know, there's a need for us to have a sense of purpose, to know why are we here, you know, not just to exist. There is a need for us to stay connected to family and to people in general. One person also suggested that we need to treat others the way that we want to be treated. But I think even more important, coming out of Mr. Henry's example, it was the need to get up and take action, that there must be some kind of action taken when we talk about developing resilience. There was also the suggestion that we need to learn from our mistakes, maybe not try to repeat the same thing over again. And there is also the need for us to be spiritually grounded, so to know who we believe in and why we believe what we believe, to get that sense of guidance when we go through difficult situations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lion Janister. Do we have another group? If not, we move back into the presentation. So Natalie, over to you.
Okay, so here you'll see a definition of resilience. So resilience refers to our ability to cope with normal stress of life, as well as being able to bounce back from crisis. Now, this is something that we were discussing in our group, and everything led back to Hurricane Ivan in 2004. And we are resilient people. We came together, we supported one another, and we got through. The only thing I would say about this actual crisis is a little bit different, because I think that we're more, how would you say, we can't go face to face, we have to stay a little bit apart, but there's still things that we can do to come together and support one another. Okay, so COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a worldwide pandemic. And I think the last 18 months all over the world has been a pretty topsy-turvy, with financial insecurity, job losses, social distancing. And I think isolation has been a signature of the COVID-19 pandemic. But what I've noticed a lot, what's happening all around the world, and even in Grenada now, is like a blame. People say, oh, the foreigners are to blame, or they should have been quarantined for 48 hours, or maybe it's the people that didn't wear the mask, or it's the people that didn't get vaccinated, or maybe the government didn't do enough. There's lots of this going around, but that's not really helpful. And I understand that a lot of people may feel stressed at this time. There's a lot of people that are ill in hospital at the moment. And my condolence goes out to the families of those 24 people that have passed in Grenada, because that's what's happened recently. And I can understand that people may be fearful at this time. And what you need to know is that your fear and your feelings are valid, and they're normal. And we should be expressing how we feel at this time. But I think there's also, like, our behavior is a bit strange at the moment. Some people are stockpiling, buying loads of things they don't need. People are being mistrustful of people and staying far apart from people. But what I want to say to you is, don't bottle it up. Express how you feel, share how you feel, talk to somebody, talk to a trusted friend. But most of all, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I hope from this presentation that you'll be able to take something away with it, and you'll be able to be more resilient, develop more coping strategies. And it's more of a practical solutions that we're trying to offer here, because we don't have like a manual that has all of the answers. This is a different situation. Normally for mental health, you can give this advice saying do this and do that, but we are in strange times. It's very different. But what I can say right now is just a matter of supporting one another and communicating with one another and being kind to one another. So this isn't the next thing we're going to do. We're going to talk about how you're feeling right now at this moment. So there's a link on the screen, so you can go to menti.com, and there's a code to put in. So it's www.menti.com, and the code is there, 17220657. And what you can do there, you can add like a word or two about how you're feeling right now at this current time with everything that's been going on, especially like this week in Grenada, or wherever you are, whether you're in Barbados or wherever you are in the world. Just put a point or two about how you're feeling. That should just take us a few minutes, and then we'll come back.
We are into the presentation. Right now, persons can log into Menti, www.menti.com. I will put it into the Zoom chat so you can see it with the code, so you can get it. Those who I also have it on the Facebook and the YouTube channel as well. You can type into it, and you will see the words there. And I would like you to see what's happening. And we welcome those who are viewing from YouTube, and this is what is happening right now with our word cloud. So you're viewing from YouTube and Facebook. And we are now into the presentation, and people are stating how they're feeling right now by just putting up that those words on the chat. Speaking to the, you can go ahead, Natalie, speaking to the feelings that we have.
Okay, so I see a range of feelings: overwhelmed, fear, faith, strength, rested. I mean, overwhelmed, these sort of feelings are valid. If you're feeling like fearful, anxious at this time, your feelings are valid. I see frustrated. Avoiding the news. Yeah, I think sometimes that's really important because there's a lot of negativity out there. Sometimes you just have to switch off from the news. Would anybody like to share how they're feeling right now? If I can get 2 or 3 people to share how they feel right now.
Okay, I must say that I am concerned. I am concerned because there's a blame game. Everybody is saying is that if that was done, that would not have happened, rather than taking self-responsibility for their own safety. So I don't understand why it is that people think that there should be somebody else responsible for their safety. You see people passing up and down and they're quarreling about make up figures and fake numbers and everything. Everybody are dying listening is COVID, just as though it's online. So I'm concerned about what's going to happen to us by the end of September.
Thank you for sharing, Gloria. Your concerns are valid. And I guess there's a lot of people that are feeling the same way with what's happening right now in Grenada. Would anybody else like to share?
All right. The last speaker said some things very important. I know we talk about resilience. And I think one key factor here is that a lot of what happened has to do with individual choice. Individual choice is very important. And I think that ties into one of the last group to talk when it was mentioned about having a purpose. We have remain focused. What's our end game to come out of this unscathed, and what we have to, and what do we have to do? What am I going to do about it? Not what the other person is going to do. And if everyone, it's like the song, let there be peace on earth and let it begins with me. Everyone has to take, each person has to take individual responsibility.
That's an important point. And I think that sharing how we feel will enable us to get the help we need. If we're able to reach out and speak to people, we'll get the help that we need. And we need to be resilient at this time.
Natalie, we have persons on YouTube and Facebook. Lan Ronald is manning the YouTube channel. I don't know if there's any comments there from anybody. And also Lan Virginia is manning the Facebook. Is there any comments from anybody regarding feelings?
The only comment from YouTube would be somebody just said emotional. As you know, there isn't any feelings, but I'm sure a lot of people might have the same feeling that is expressed in the slides, you know, to do with anxiety, stress, and so forth.
There isn't any comment on the Facebook page, but we have someone under the Zoom page saying concerned.
These feelings of concern, anxiety, feeling emotional at this time, these feelings are normal and they're sort of valid for this time, especially for what we're going through. We don't have all of the answers here, but we can offer some sort of coping mechanisms and things you can do to help yourself. A lot of the things that we're suggesting here are more practical things that you can probably do from your home, in your home.
So I feel right now very stressed because during the lockdown in March of last year, like so many persons, I purchased quite a bit of food, and I love food. I like to eat. So when we came out of lockdown in June, I had put on so much weight. And my continuous eating and not exercising could have possibly led to me getting a chronic disease or so. Thank God that's not so. But when I learned that we were going on no movement weekends, I did things a bit different this time. I topped up a lot on vegetables and fruits, and I started to eat those things. But food, just being stressed, food is a comfort to me. And so every now and again, I would open the fridge and see, well, what's there to eat? It's not that I'm hungry, but it's like, what's there to eat? And then I have to remind myself, this is just the weekend. I have the other days to eat, so let me discipline myself. So that is a challenge for me. When I'm stressed, I eat.
And I think
Thank you for sharing. We do have some slides up and coming about routine and structure and possible things you can do to replace that. So instead of maybe eating more, there's other things that we can suggest, but that's lower down in the presentation. Would anybody else
sharing? There was someone going to share.
And I thought it's a very important comment made by the speaker about eating and so on, because I remember as a kid growing up in Grenada, and when we had strikes and so on, and political uprising, so, just by the way we function, and if we were innovative, we found a way to have food. We didn't have the opportunity to stock up on food. So to a large extent, gaining weight from extra eating was not a problem we have. So we actually came out of that better in the sense that we are more innovative. We find ways to do things that we probably, and to make things work that we probably were not aware of. And so it's very interesting how, to some extent, when people are resilient, when people are faced with a challenge, sometimes you can come out of it better, sometimes you can come out of it worse, sometimes you can come out of it with a new problem. So that ties into the whole aspect of when we talk about being resilient. And so I remember someone in group 3 said we are born, it's innate, but that could also be a part of the problem, because that has to be channeled appropriately. That's why we need good counsel. We need to listen to people. We need to learn from experience. We need to have a purpose.
Natalie, we have some comments on the Zoom chat. Oslin Radix is saying that the feeling she has is concern. She's concerned. Listra is saying, I'm scared of contracting the virus because of my present situation. So maybe she has some underlying condition and it puts a bit of fear in her. And this person, AFR, is saying, I can so relate with this as well. Myrna is saying, I'm coping nicely, very grateful to be here. So these are some comments from the Zoom chat.
I think concern is coming up quite a lot, but this is something that it's a bit of a tough one because we are in tough waters at the moment and everybody is feeling a bit fearful, but all we can do right now is look at things, practical things that we can do, which, you know, like eating healthily, exercising, finding a routine, speaking to others about how we're feeling. Don't hold things back and just be kind to one another and have compassion. I think that's all we can do. This situation that we're in is very different to Ivan, where we was able to really come together and go into one another's houses. I think this sort of pandemic has caused us to be a little bit apart from one another, but we have to be positive. We have to be hopeful. We have to pray. We have to find different solutions. We just have to be resilient. We've never been through this territory or these waters before. We have to do different things. So what I'm doing now, I'm moving on to my next slide, which is one day at a time. So it's about doing what's in your power, what you can manage and what you can control. Because sometimes we think about, oh, you know, let's think about next week, let's think about next month, let's think about next year or this holiday or what I plan to do. I think it's all about taking one step at a time, having some structure for your day. So for example, you get up in the morning and you do what's in your control. You say, okay, so later on at 6 o'clock in this evening, I might do some sewing, or I might sign up for an IT course, or set some small, realistic goals. And probably not putting too much pressure on yourself. What do you think? What else can you do to what else in your power, in your control? What else can you do? I'm putting that out there to everybody else. What can you do? What's in your control to do one day at a time? So focusing on today, tomorrow, and the present. We're moving on to the next slide, which is gratitude. Oh, are we still on this slide? So is there anything that you can suggest that you can do what's in your power to manage your, is there anything you can do that's in your power?
Reach out to others.
Reach out to others. I'm just making notes.
Try to work with the things that I have control over, and those that I don't have control over, then I have to leave it alone.
Such as, give me some examples.
Well, I have no control over persons who may choose to spread the virus, let's say, or to live carelessly, but I have control over my own behavior and my own actions.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I have no control over some things happening around me, but I have control over things that I can avoid, you know? So I choose to work with things I have control over.
Brilliant, that's a really good point. Thank you for sharing.
Natalie, we have some comments on the chat. Portia is saying, set smart goals, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. If we do this daily or weekly, this is in turn can help us feel more in control.
Exactly, because sometimes I think that that's a very, very good point, because sometimes I think that you need something sort of to look forward to, even if it's a small goal. It doesn't have to be a big goal like obtaining a degree. It could be something small like doing an online course, baking some cakes and sharing with your neighbors. There could be many goals that you can set. They can be small goals. I think baby steps is what we need, because we can't think about maybe what we can do next year. We have to focus on the present. And I think that leads us into our next slide about being grateful and gratitude. and having gratitude.
Just before you move to the next slide, Natalie, we have some comments here.
Okay.
From Grenada, thanking God for people like you. PY says it's important to relay what we talk about to our children. We must build them up to be resilient and teach them how to use multiple coping strategies. Finally cleaning, somebody say, finally cleaning my drawers. I guess they get a chance to do something that they...
That's a really good point, because you can use this time, because a lot of people think, okay, I'm at home, I'm bored, I'm not in the office, but you can use this time. I saw somebody wrote on Facebook yesterday, I don't know if I should say this, but taking out their weave on and washing their hair, and when you don't have time to do certain things. But I think, yeah, definitely use this time to do courses, to exercise, to keep fit and stuff like that. But these are really, really valid points.
Strengthen relationship with family.
Definitely.
Okay.
So the next slide is about gratitude, and I'm asking you to think about, take maybe a minute or two to think about 5 things that you're grateful for. And don't tell me there's not 5 things you can be grateful for right now. Well, I can just give you one thing that I'm grateful for, is coming on here, having the opportunity to come on here and share with you today. That's what I'm really grateful for. And I'd like everyone to share at least one point or one thing that they're grateful for today.
I'm grateful for family.
Brilliant, yes.
I am grateful for having supportive people in my life.
Brilliant.
I'm grateful that I finally realized that that they become convinced that there is a God, and He rules and He loves us, and He promised us that He will never leave us or forsake us. So with that in mind, I know that even though we're going through many storms, He will never leave us.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
I just want to join and say that I'm so grateful to be alive.
Brilliant. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, guys, we've only got a certain amount of time. I know you all want to share, but we have to move on to the next slide. And the next slide is about your accomplishments. It's pretty similar to gratitude, I guess, but sometimes we forget about our accomplishments, and we can think about our small and big accomplishments and reflect on our achievements and obstacles we have overcome in the past. So would you like to talk about some of the accomplishments that you've achieved, big or small?
Patience.
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 Patience. And what does that mean? Explain a bit more. Elaborate, please. If you don't mind.
What it means to having patience?
Yeah, for you though.
Right, for me, right.
Yeah.
We live in a world, and I lived in a world that just the way we function, everything has to be done right away. You have to have a result right away. You have to have a positive result right away. And I did not have the opportunity to really sit back and realize about baby steps, just accomplishing one thing at a time. So I realized that being focused and having some ultimate goal in life beyond what the world may want to give us, or what in the past I had allowed the world to quote unquote push down my throat, gives me a sense of patience, because I know I know what I'm working towards, and I will not be distracted.
That is excellent. And gratitude, like focusing and reflecting on your accomplishments, enhances positive emotions and makes you feel better. Would you agree?
Yeah. Natalie, we have a few comments on the chat.
Go ahead.
Alicia is saying the situation strengthen relationships with family. What I do is focus on what is happening now, exercising, sleeping, and I like doing craft. So I'm doing that with my grandchildren. This person is grateful for life, Lion Tisha. Judy Pivot says, grateful for being alive and well. Grenada is saying, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Lion Kinder is saying, I'm grateful to be alive today. Lion Virginia is saying, to be alive and healthy. A roof over my head and a warm home filled with genuine love, said Portia. Maureen is saying, grateful to be alive. Region 3 Chair is saying, I'm grateful I'm currently COVID negative, having tested last Friday. Edlin Williams is saying, I'm grateful for the opportunity to get to have lots of quality family time and drawing closer to God. I'm grateful for life and family, Lindana Charles is saying. Catherine is saying, I'm grateful for God and my son with the bad explorer he had with COVID. I guess he had some issues with COVID. I'm grateful for life, family, and opportunity. We have to try and remain focused and surround ourselves with positive people and thoughts. Faith in a time of distress. This Portia is an accomplishment, having the ability to show empathy with others of all ages, seeing things from their point of view in order to help them. An abundance of empathy. I'm happy that now I'm better able to teach my online classes. Grateful to be able to smell. Wow, that's awesome. I'm grateful, for example, for me, I've accomplished cutting my yard today and yesterday. That I was able to. Ronald is saying grateful that you're having this session. So just from the chat.
This is excellent. And even, small things that we take for granted, like being able to find the time to cut your yard. This is excellent. This is really, really good. So we're moving on to the next slide, which is about routine and structure. And as I was speaking about earlier, you're at home now, so you're not at work. So you have to find time to have a routine or structure. You have to have a set sort of time to wake up in the morning and to go to bed at night. You can get yourself involved in a hobby. It doesn't have to be football. It could be something like walking. It could be exercise, not in the gym, because maybe your gym is closed at the moment, but you can do some gentle stretches, whether it's on the bed or standing up within your room or on your veranda, in your yard. There's many things you can do, but I think you should find that time, whether it's going to be on a Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock or Sunday morning, find that time to have that sort of routine and structure and try learning a new skill. It could be something like baking or getting involved in an IT course. There's many things that you can do at this time, because I know a lot of people have set up businesses online, and there's lots of skills you can develop and use now. So when we come out of the COVID-19 pandemic, you'll be better skilled to be out there. So this is about developing routine and structure and importance of routine and structure. Does anybody want to add anything to routine? Okay, so we're going to move on to mindfulness and relaxation. And what we have here is a video. It's about 5 minutes. So it's about quieting your mind. So don't fall asleep, but here's a 5-minute video for you to watch.
So, however our week begins, some weeks are just more difficult to go into than others. Whether it's something particularly difficult that's happened in our local community or even on the world stage, it's just difficult to go into the week as though nothing has happened and not to feel touched in some way by what has happened. So it's really important that on these weekends we take the time to realize how we feel, to experience that vulnerability, and to make sure that we're not just pushing that to one side, ignoring it, suppressing it, or putting it away somewhere. So take the time right now to pause, to take a deep breath. Breathe in through the nose. And as you breathe out through the mouth, just allow the eyes to close. Allow the body to be still. Allow the mind to be still if it wants to. And just allow whatever feelings arise to come to the surface. It's so rare that we pause and allow these feelings any space. But so important that we do. If it helps as you sit there, you can just gently place your hand on your stomach and just feel that rising and falling sensation. Know that as you follow that sensation, there's no real goal to the exercise. We're just pausing, allowing the body to be present with any sensations, any feelings, allowing the mind to experience any thoughts, any feelings, and just creating a space in which we can be quiet and still. And if you need to direct your thoughts to anyone, to anything in particular, just taking that opportunity now. And then just gently bringing the attention back to the body, back to that feeling of contact, that feeling of being grounded. Grateful for having taken that time out. And whenever you feel ready, in your own time, just gently opening the eyes again.
Okay, so here is another video on how to relax, and there's 8 relaxation techniques to have a look at.
Here are 8 relaxation tips to help you look after your well-being when you're stressed, busy or worried. 1. Take a break. Take some time away from your normal routines or thoughts. Read a book or magazine, even if it's only for a few minutes. Run yourself a bath. Watch a film. Play with your pet. Chop some vegetables and cook a meal. 2. Focus on your breathing. Learning to breathe more deeply can make you feel a lot calmer and increase your sense of well-being. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Try to keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Place your hand on your stomach. It should rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. Try counting as you breathe. Start by counting to 4 as you breathe in and 4 as you breathe out. Then work out what's comfortable for you. 3. Listen to music. Listen to your favorite songs. Turn it up and dance or sing along, or put your headphones on and close your eyes. Really listen to the music. Can you pick out different instruments? Can you hear a drum beat or a certain rhythm? Let yourself focus on the music and let other thoughts drift away. 4. Picture yourself in a relaxing place. Think of somewhere relaxing and peaceful. You might choose a memory of somewhere you've been or a place you've imagined. Close your eyes and think about the details of this place. What does it look like? What kind of colours and shapes can you see? Can you hear any sounds? Is it warm or cool? Let your mind drift and your body relax. 5. Try active relaxation. Relaxation doesn't have to mean sitting still. Gentle exercise can help you relax too. Look for a gentle exercise class in yoga, Pilates, or gentle stretching. Take a gentle walk, going at your own pace. You might choose to go for a longer walk, but even a few minutes of walking can help you feel relaxed. 6. Use a guided relaxation exercise. Guided relaxation or meditation exercises are widely available, and lots of them are free to use. You can search online, look for an app to download, or see if your local library has any books or CDs. Have a look for local meditation or relaxation classes. You could try your local Mind or use an internet search engine. 7. Get creative. Getting in touch with your artistic side can help you feel more calm and relaxed. Try painting, drawing, making crafts, playing a musical instrument, baking and sewing. Try not to worry too much about the finished product and focus on enjoying yourself. 8. Spend time in nature. Spending time outside and in green spaces can be great for your physical and mental well-being. You could take a walk in the countryside or through a local park. Taking time to notice trees, flowers, plants and animals you see on the way. Or you could spend some time taking part in conservation, whether that's digging in your own garden or taking part in a local green project. Don't worry if one technique doesn't work for you. Try it a few times, and if it doesn't feel effective, move on to a different exercise. Try to let go of your worries and take time to enjoy the exercises.
Brilliant. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found something useful in that video there. And mindfulness is all about being present and focusing on your emotional state. What they didn't talk about there is writing in your journal. Some people find writing useful so that they can get off what's on their chest and put it onto paper. So that's something that you can try doing as well, writing in a journal about how you're feeling. And if you need more information on where to look about journaling for mental health and well-being, you can look at, I've included a link and it's positivepsychology.com. So you can have a look there.
Natalie, we have some comments.
Okay, go ahead.
On YouTube. Ronald, you want to share what the comments are on YouTube? While Ronald is getting the comments, Julia says she's grateful for life, good health, and family. Grenada is also saying, like Grandance Beach, stop and smell the roses. And you can also try writing how you feel into a song. So Chad is saying writing how you feel in a song can be one way of relaxing. Ronald, what do you see on the YouTube?
Well, the only update in terms of comment is someone agreeing with Lion Allison in her sentiment in that she's grateful for the session. So I assume that they may be learning a lot from the session, and the information that is being provided is very, helpful to them.
Okay. Anybody from Facebook, Land Virginia?
Well, Jeanette Dubois says, hats off to the St. John's Lions on the forum now taking place on mental health. You can follow on Zoom, Facebook, or YouTube. Marla's contribution on COVID-19 was very edifying. The group reports are now on. It's not too late to follow.
Okay, thank you. And then final chat from the Zoom chat. Finally, my dog is house trained because I had more time to spend time with him. So these are the comments coming up.
Excellent. Okay, so this slide now is about positive reframing and a new perspective. And I know there's a lot of like negativity out there sometimes on Facebook and what people might send you on the WhatsApp chat and stuff like that, especially on social media. So instead of reading negative posts on social media about the COVID-19 pandemic, which might interfere with how you feel, think, and your sort of thinking and stuff like that, try to obtain accurate and reliable information from reliable sources, and I think that will help you with reframing and thinking about things in a more positive light. There's other things that you could probably add to that list. That was just one thing that I added there, but I think this is useful as a way that you can think about anything that negative that might come up for you. You can sort of, if you want to write it down and then try to change it around into something positive, into something like a growth experience for you. So use this slide. Okay, so the next slide is just about a few of the things that we've covered already. So we're just kind of going back over them. It's about the importance of having a routine and structure. And it's about creating good habits, I think, like that will enhance your mood. So I know we can't connect face to face, but what we can do, we can connect with our loved ones on social media, on the telephone, because there might be just somebody out there who wants to hear your voice or wants to hear from you, and you can share with that person just how you're feeling. We talked earlier about learning new skills. There's many skills you can add to that list there. Keeping active, exercising at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. I think that can improve your mood, your energy levels. Giving back, I think that's the best thing you can do. Be kind, be compassionate, volunteer. If you have any spare resources, share with your neighbor. They might just need something. You don't have to go to their house, but just find out what they may need and take notice and have appreciation for life. Thank God every day. Thank God that you're in nature. I've also put something there about avoiding drinking too much alcohol and risky behavior, but that's things to avoid. And lastly, we're to our second to last slide. It's about getting support. It's about talking to a trustworthy person, maybe somebody that you can confide in, somebody that can listen to you, actively listen to you, and don't just speak to anybody. It's worth speaking to somebody that really has your best interest at heart, that has some answers, or somebody who could signpost you in the right direction. Or you can speak to your minister, you can speak to your pastor, maybe a counselor. You can even speak to David Hopkins. You can speak to somebody within the Lions Club. I'm sure they would listen, they won't turn you away. You could speak to somebody in the Ministry of Social Development or Ministry of Health. I don't have the links, but I mean, I'm sure you can reach out to them and get support that way. And lastly, I'm hoping that in October, on October the 10th, which is World Mental Health Day, I'm hoping to deliver another presentation that will be, I realize that there's a lot more that you guys want to talk about. So let me know as well in the chat box or in the comments if there's anything that you would like me to tailor a presentation around. So that's for mental health, a World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take any questions you may have, but not too many. Only about 3 or 4. Thank you.
So persons can raise their hands if they have a question, so we can have some order in the questioning. While we wait for hands to be raised, just some comments. Judy Lewis is saying, I'm grateful for the session. Kudos to the Lions Club and to Natalie. God bless you all richly. Canis Modest, Canis says, thank God for life, family, and friends. Excellent forum. Congrats, St. John's Lions. One other person would like to know how they can contact you. Rachel Privat is saying she has to leave the session, have an emergency staff meeting. healthy, informative discussion. Heartfelt thank you to the facilitators. Questions? Anybody with a question? You can make a comment as well. Ronald, is there any question on YouTube? Or
No, there's
Virginia
no
on
questions.
Facebook? Say
No
again?
questions or comment. No questions or comment from YouTube.
Okay.
If there's anything that you'd like to see in another presentation, say in October, please let me know. You can just add it in the comments and I can try to compose another presentation around your needs and what you would like to see or hear. Thank you.
Okay. So we have raised hand. Landavita Glean has raised her hand. You can unmute your mic and share your question or comment.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are.
Okay. A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. It's not so much a question, but probably to me is a concern, because at times you may hear different stories, you know, about, especially about persons not taking the vaccine. And then sometimes under that light, we see it as, why are they not doing that? Because, and you think it is such a bad idea or such a sad thought that they're not doing that. But sometimes you go back into each person, we know that everybody is different. And so we have to look, I myself do that. I sort of look and try to understand where the person is coming from. We are all different. We all have different ideas. We have all different answers to things. And so what I do realize is that we just had a hope that in spite of all what is happening, especially for those who are not taking the vaccine or so, that we just hope that, you know, nothing happens to them. Although in our case, although those who are vaccinated, it does happen to them, they get affected. But sometimes you just have that feeling as to why they don't take it. And then sometimes again, you have to look at yourself and say, we are all different. And people do have their reasoning. We just have to learn to respect that and just hope that, you know, that things go well. That was basically just my comment or so.
Okay. Natalie, you want to say anything?
I have a comment. Sorry. I'm looking to see where to raise my hand and I'm...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. No, I had one of the first words I put in the link was concerned. I'm so much more concerned for persons who cannot make up their minds. They are indecisive about the vaccine because their minds have been distorted with information from all angles, voice notes and persons from overseas. They're not saying who they are, whether they are medical persons or not, but you see them speaking about against the vaccine. There are some religious persons who are speaking against the vaccines, and there are some persons who just confused and they're waiting to see, well, who would take it? Because I know of persons who are working in certain offices and the manager didn't take it. So I am waiting to see if he's going to take it. I'm waiting to see if Mr. So is going to take it, and then I might decide. So I am just concerned that there are so many persons who probably would like to, but is confused, waiting to see who will and who doesn't take it, and therefore they themselves in a mad rush now. I know somebody who was in a mad rush on Monday looking for a vaccine, and when he got there, they had run out of it, and the line was as long as ever, you know. So I wish we could come to that place where we don't rely on persons' decisions, but we make the decisions for ourselves. There are just too many persons out there confused, and I don't know how to help those persons. I don't know what encouragement to give. The doctors speak. They're just indecisive about the whole thing. I'm concerned about them. Because probably they genuinely want to, but they just don't know what to do. Comment.
Okay. Natalie, you want to respond?
Well, thank you for sharing about the vaccine. But what I would tell you is that I've had the vaccine. I had it to travel, and also my job required that I have the vaccine. I had the AstraZeneca. I didn't have any side effects, and I can understand that people are concerned because that vaccine was created quite quickly. But you have a choice right now whether you want to take it. But eventually, it might change. It might be a case that you're forced to have it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but right now you have a choice. So all you can do is your research right now. Thank you.
Okay, I want to add some comments to that. Lan Levita raised the concern about, I would term it as sort of discrimination for those who do not take it, how they treat it versus those who take it. I think everybody has a choice in making that decision presently. If you are concerned about the vaccine, taking the vaccine, I think the best thing you can do is visit your physician, your doctor, to advise you what is the best thing to do. He should or she should be able to assess your health situation, and knowing the vaccine, he should be able to advise you whether you should or should not. The truth about it is the COVID-19 is affecting all of us, whether you're vaccinated or not. The best shot we have at this point in time, apart from following all the protocols of mask and so on, is having the vaccine. It's not that you would not get it, you would, but your body would be able to fight the disease, just like all other vaccines in the past. Those who want to go and get the vaccine while you are infected, it would not be possible. A doctor yesterday gave a very good point in a forum, said that when children were vaccinated and they go to the health center with a fever, the nurse will say, come back next week when the fever is gone. So it's better to take the vaccine when you are well. Now, like all other medication that you take, there's always side effects. Even the pressure medication that we're taking for those persons who have high blood pressure or diabetes or whatever, they all have side effects. And when it may affect other organs in our body. For example, based on the drug that you're taking for high blood pressure, it may affect your kidneys. So the doctor has to give you something else to fight the other symptoms. So like every other medication, there's always side effect. We would wish that most persons would choose to take the vaccine to keep themselves healthy and to continue the protocol. That's my response to that. I see Grenada has a hand up.
Yes, I'm glad you touched on that because I happen to be a medical professional and will commonly have family members and friends and someone asked me a question. And with the COVID, there has been a paucity of maybe an asked question. And I've been reaching out to people and a lot of family members and friends, they're just opposed to taking the vaccine. And I feel like hitting my head against the wall. So I've actually been praying the Serenity Prayer, and I've been trying my best to educate them, so much so that other family members who had the vaccine tell me that, you know, just I'm stressing myself too much. Just leave these people, just leave them alone. But I feel that part of my responsibility is to educate people. And I never tell people that the vaccine does not have any potential for adverse effect, but I put things in perspective. Everything we do has potential for side effects. And there are a lot of things we do in life right now that can hurt us later on. But this is an urgency, this is an emergency. And the science tells us that prevention is the best cure. And while that can apply to a lot of stuff like eating healthy and so on, and then when we don't adhere to those stuff, we reap the untoward consequences later on in life, like obesity, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes. This has more immediacy. So taking the vaccine, when protecting yourself, the distancing, the mask and so on, that's just as important as as someone having like a major surgery for perforated organ or something like that. I think education is the key. And up to this week, I was telling my folks, I'm not sure where folks are getting those anti-vaccine information, because I was in Grenada in December and I was locked in for about 7 days, and I followed the GBN, and there was so much education there about COVID. I learned a lot from them. So I'm amazed, but I just keep on at it. Perseverance. And finally, I had one family member who texted me the copy of his vaccination card that he finally got to take the vaccine. So one, many more to go. But we got to do what we got to do, and you have to educate people, and the choice is an individual choice.
Thank you very much, Grenada. Any questions or comments still? Ronald, any question on the YouTube or Facebook from Lion, Virginia?
No questions from YouTube.
Okay. There is a comment here. One, when will the Lions Club be hosting another session like this? It said, thank you, Mr. Hopkins and Go of Lions Club for the opportunity afforded me to be part of this timely session. Special kudos to the presenter. Any other questions or comments? Ronald, you have a question or comment?
No, I don't have any questions or comment at the moment. Well, I just did. The session was very informative, and I hope that everyone that tune in, step away with at least one thing from it that they can use, in their daily life to make the situation or to cope with the environment, whether it be dealing with stress or some emotional distress. So for me, there is a lot that I've learned that is helpful, that I would definitely try to implement in my daily routine. The listening to the videos and just meditating, that is something that definitely helps with stress. So that is something I myself would incorporate in my daily routine.
Thank you very much. So Natalie, we can end the question session and we could go on.
Yeah, so I just hope that this presentation has given you a sort of sense of hope, and then I'll leave you with some 3 final points. And I think it's about having empathy for others, your neighbors, your friends, your family, with what people may be going through, whether they take the vaccine, whether they don't take the vaccine, that's their choice at the moment. And I think it's about, the second point is about active listening, listening to others about how they feel, and also showing how you feel as well, being honest with your emotions and your feelings so that you can get the support needed. And the third point is to share your resources. I'm not saying that you should be selfish, but if you have any spare resources that you can share with a neighbor that might need them at this time, do share your resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Just a comment here is that mental health issue isn't something one should deal with on their own. It should be dealt with together. So Natalie has placed our references for the presentation, and thank you very much for that. At this point, we're going to have a presentation from the artists. So I now invite our technical operator to make a presentation for us, a video presentation from Spices Dance Company from Guelph. Spices Dance Company for the beautiful rendition for us. We have come to the end of our session today. I noticed a hand. Oh, okay, it's just a clapping hand there. We have come to the end of our session today. It was a wonderful experience being able to journey together by sharing our feelings, sharing what we think about resiliency, sharing our stories that we can inspire others in our group session. And we are grateful that you're able to join us for this session. Those on Facebook and YouTube, you can go back to the program later on and view our Lions who have joined us from all over the Caribbean, as well as Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, the clubs, St. George's and St. Andrews, the Leo clubs as well. We thank you. At this point, I now hand you over to Lion Brent, who will give us the official vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. On behalf of the Lions Club of St. John, it gives me great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks to all who helped in making this webinar on resiliency and mental health wellness during COVID-19 such a resounding success. Today, I take this opportunity to put all our gratitude in the form of words. First and foremost, we must express our heartfelt thank you to the Most High God, who made it possible through his mercies and grace in allowing us to execute this webinar. I also take this opportunity to thank our esteemed guest presenter, Natalie Simon, mental health, for taking time off from her busy schedule to facilitate this informative session. This webinar is very timely, given the fact that as early as August, Grenadians began to realize the magnitude of the humanitarian and social consequences of COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the huge psychological implications of the virus itself and the measures to prevent it. Worries and fears about losing loved ones, becoming sick, or about health systems being overloaded continue to be among the people we support. Moreover, measures imposed by government to prevent the spread of the disease, including lockdowns, restrictions, quarantines, physical distancing, and their social and economic consequences, further increase the stress and the risk of mental health problems. Ma'am, your valuable advice and motivation this evening was much appreciated. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and expertise with us this evening. We say thank you to our club president, Lion Allison Knight, for her timely remarks, especially during this challenging time. I trust that everyone would embrace the suggestions espoused during her welcome remarks. Special thank you to Lion Wendy Labari, our Region 3 Chair, for gracing us with your presence and managing the technical aspect of this session. Thank you to our Master of Ceremony, Lion David Hopkins, for such an efficient job as a moderator. Thank you also to Lion Alma for welcoming our guests to this session. A special thank you is extended to Father Hugh Logan for invoking God's presence this afternoon rather. Special thank you to our Lions who facilitated the discussions at the various breakout rooms. Special thank you to Mr. Chevron Sutherland for your technical expertise this evening. Thank you, Mr. Chad Welch, for blessing our hearts through song. It was greatly appreciated. Thank you, fellow Lions from Grenada, as well as Lions from Barbados East, for gracing us with your presence this afternoon and your unwavering support to the Lions Club of St. John. To all our specially invited guests, we say thank you for gracing us with your presence. Finally, I wish to extend a heartfelt thank you to our service chair, Lion David, and his team of volunteers without whose helping hand this event wouldn't have been possible. Once again, thank you everyone for making this program successful. Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Lion Brent, for that. And to end the session, we have Chad Welsh, who is going to give us another number. While Chad is coming on, Portia is saying, such an informative group, Zoom meeting, much appreciation to accepting me into the group all the way from the United Kingdom. Thank you and stay safe all. So let's listen to Chad. Then we'll have a video to end our session. Chad?
I used to be afraid of giving up. The road was just tough. Out here on my own, my path was so alone. But now I see clearly, everything within me is reaching up to the sky. I can see the world with open eyes. You can let it pass you. Take hold and grasp it. Now it's time to take a chance. With the strength of 1,000 men, climbing to my feet again. Dry the tears from your eyes, and everything will be alright. You know the rainbow's just in sight, just the wind off as your eyes. If your heart feels overwhelmed, just know you're never by yourself. Put your hand in mine, hold your head up high, and together we'll rise. We'll rise. Never leave your head up to the sky and find yourself asking why. Never see them eye to eye with the hardships of life. Face where my heart is, let energy replace my doubts. Will make the trials get the best of me. I'm marching forward towards my destiny. You can let it pass you, just take hold and grasp it. Know it's time to take a chance. With the strength of 1,000 men, climbing to my feet again. Yeah, dry the tears from your eyes, and everything will be alright. You know the rainbow's just inside. Touch your wings off as you rise. If your heart feels overwhelmed, just know you're never by yourself. Put your hand in mine, hold your head up high, and together we'll rise. We'll rise. We'll rise. Oh. We'll rise, we'll rise, we'll rise. All right, everybody, good afternoon. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Chad, for sharing with us your talent and the very important message there of rising from the COVID-19. And now we end with a special video, which technical operator will lead us through to end our session. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening, and let us stay strong. We in this together, and let us follow the protocols, choose to get vaccinated, and let us try to live beyond COVID-19. Thank you from the Lions Club of St. John's, Grenada, wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Now, Wendy, you want to play the video?
It's interesting that the things we cherish most are the same things we walk right by. They become so intertwined in the status quo that ultimately it becomes impossible to tell them apart from our day-to-day. That is, impossible until things change. Because as it turns out, that thing we call life, it has a say. There's a saying, you never really know what you have until it's gone. And sometimes it takes the most abrasive of reminders, the harshest of times, to help us recapture that perspective, to lift us up and show us what we had previously failed to see. And while our darkest moments test our strength, they push our boundaries, even transform our reality, they can also be the bridge that leads us exactly where we need to be. They remind us that sometimes it's not about how we spend our time, but who we spend it with. That quiet brings clarity, and the world can spin so fast that we forget to think about our place within it. It reminds us how humanity is bigger than the sum of its parts, and it takes just as much energy to build up as it does to tear down. It reminds us that no matter where we live, what we speak, or who we pray to, we're not so different after all. It reminds us that there is so much more good in this world than evil, so much more love than hate, and so much promise for tomorrow. Someday we'll look back on this moment with the lessons we've learned, the hardships we've faced, and we will be reminded of the miracle that is the human spirit, unwavering in its resolve, unbreakable at its foundation, stronger than we could ever comprehend. See, sometimes it's hard to look around and find a reason to be optimistic, to understand or comprehend why. But what we'll find is that if we look hard enough, immersed in the uncertainty, the disruption, and in some cases, the tragedy, there's something to be gained. A tiny candle flickering in the night that will eventually grow to light our way. Because that road to tomorrow is paved with hope. There are pages unwritten, stories untold, and a new chapter to begin.
Thank you once again. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. I need to speak it you after, please.
Wonderful session.
Bye. Good evening
Thank
to
you,
everyone.
thank you, Miss Natalie. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lion Anthony Hopkins.
Thank you.
You did a great job moderating this. Very balanced.
We are doing just like a normal face-to-face session. We will see you out. Yeah. Hoping that everybody reach home safely and is safely there. Landmary Alma.
And David.
Good.
See, I'm multitasking. I'm in 2 meetings at the same time.
Yes. Let me see if we are still live on YouTube.